Hey, I'm Corey with Blood Brothers Racing, and if you have to run a Hans Device this year because you're running so fast at the track, this video is for you. I'll show you how to install it in a helmet that has the anchors, or even having to drill and install anchors on your own. So this video is detailed. Hopefully it gets any of you guys wondering how to install these or use them, gives you all the answers you need. Stay tuned. We are in this video going to tell you how to get a little bit more life out of these older helmets that are still in spec, but you need a Hans device to use. By that I mean this helmet does not have the Hans anchors, so we're going to show you how to drill those. We're going to also show you how to install the hardware, and then talk about the Necksgen harness that we purchased. All right, so a couple things you're going to need to get started. This video is going to be in 3 parts. The first part is going to be drilling the holes in the helmet, and the things you're going to need to do that is you're going to need a tape measure, like a normal standard tape measure would be fine. I'm going to use some tape measure, make it a little easier because it's rounded edges. You're going to want some tape to be able to mark on the helmet. You're going to need multiple drill sizes because you want to step drill the helmet, and obviously you're going to need a drill. So once you have all those things combined, you can follow along and we will start the process of getting anchors installed in this older helmet. The helmet itself is a Snell 2015. The way you can find that is inside. There's a mark on one of the sides underneath the inner liner, and it says down here, you probably can't see it, but it's Snell 2015. This helmet's actually good for until 2027, I believe. So I can get 3 more years out of this if I just install these anchors. So that's what we're choosing to do. If you don't need to drill the anchors, if you look down below, you can go to the next part where we just install the anchor system. That may be the part of the video that you need to see. So first thing first is we're gonna get started on this, and if you don't need it, zoom forward. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is, if you need to install the anchor system in the back, so the Hans Device anchor points in your helmet, you're gonna have to drill the helmet and put the anchors. You're gonna have to purchase a kit if it didn't come with it. You're gonna have to get these anchor pieces like that. These go inside the helmet for the anchor bolt to be bolted into, and it comes with a really thin wrench. The first thing you have to do to your helmet though is you need to figure out where the center is. The best way of doing that is, this one's easy because we have a center line right there at the DOT line. That's actually center of the helmet, so we could just measure off that and go that way. But if you don't have that, what you can do is take a tape. This is actually you could use a clothing tape measure or a regular tape measure, you just have to be careful. But what you can do is just cut this at 10 inches. So you have a 10-inch line. And I'll link this in the Amazon link for buying this tape. This tape's very, very convenient. You'll mark it like that, and then you'll do the same thing on the other side. So I usually come to 20. So now we have 2 10-inch marks, and you'll do the same thing on this side. Line it up with the edge of the visor. So where the 2 9s intersect is going to be center. That'll be center of your helmet. So the DOT on this is really close. So that's how you can figure out center of the back of the helmet. We don't need it though, so we're going to take that off. What we do need is the specifications for this helmet, or for any helmet, is you want the hole or the anchor put at 6 inches from the center line each direction. And you want them 1.5 inch off of this black trim ring that the inner liner gets held to. So the easiest way to do that is, if you have some 1.5 inch tape, this is a great use of it. If this is any good. If you have new tape, it'd be better. Get you a little 1.5 inch tape here. I'll tell you what, okay, here we go. And you're just gonna run along the edge of that black liner part. and that's going to give you exactly 1.5 inches away from the liner. So this line right here is 1.5 inches away. And then the next thing you need to do is 6 inches from the center. So if we take this tape and go 6 inches, which is right there, we put that in the center of the DOT symbol. We know that the anchor's got to go right at this point right here, okay? So what we'll do is we'll take a piece of tape and we'll put it right over top of the center so that we don't have any pull through when we drill. Right there is going to be where we drill the first hole. I'm going to go ahead and get the other side done so that we can make sure that everything's right, which should be no problem. All right, now that we got our holes marked, we marked it at the center of the tape like we placed it, and the line with the 1.5 inches up on both sides. The next step we're gonna do is take the inner liner out. I'm gonna do this off camera because every helmet's gonna be different, and it wouldn't make any sense for you to watch this, but just know that this inner liner will come out. There's usually some snaps or something and it just pulls out. So I'll be right back. All right, we got the inner liner out, which is just these 3 snaps, and there's a snap on the top. And that gives us access inside the helmet to see where our hole is. We have access right down there. It's super easy. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna chuck up a small bit. I think it's like a little 1/8 inch bit. Into our drill. And then we are going to place it right on our hole. I usually pop it once or twice to kind of make a little indentation. Just like that, we have a pilot hole. We're gonna do both sides. And we're gonna start stepping the drill bit up. Next size, I'm not really sure. That probably is I don't know. It's probably maybe a 3/16, probably. I'm using that chart up there. We're gonna do the same thing using the pilot hole. The thing you want to avoid is the drill going in too far and then getting caught in any of the inside material. So don't let the bit go in too far. All right, all of these Hans Device, all of them are a standard M6 bolt. What goes well with that is a 1/4 inch drill bit, so that's what we're going to drill this with. That's going to be our final drill size. Okay, the holes have been drilled and the anchors will go in next. The easiest way of doing that is just getting your hardware out, and you kind of have to do this all at the same time. So I think this is a good place to make it to the next part. We'll call it part 2, just installing the anchors on the helmet. So let's get after that. All right, we're in for part 2. If your helmet already has the anchors in the helmet, this is where you need to start off at, installing your Hans Device. The helmet we're currently on, as you can see in the previous video, we had to drill some holes. This will be a little bit different for you, but just know that these anchors that we are using inside the helmet are already in your helmet, and it's real easy, you just gotta push them in. But first thing we gotta do is get all your hardware out that you're gonna need to make this happen. So this hardware is the additional hardware that I'll have to use because the helmet doesn't have Hans anchors. These are the anchors that you're going to be using with your Hans Device, with these bolts and trim rings. Also gives you a little Allen head wrench. What you need to do is you need to get this piece lined up with your hole, and you need to get on this particular Hans Device, it gets clicked in from the bottom. Pow, and we'll talk about this in just a minute. This needs to be facing down. So it'll go something like that. And then you're gonna take your Allen head and put it in there. And then this is the hardest part because it's gonna take you maybe a good couple tries at this. But once you kind of get all that together and sandwiched, you use this wrench on the guys that don't have anchors already installed, and you go inside the liner and you push it up till you get the hole lined up, baby. All right, see how the threads are now in line with that hole? And you keep the wrench there. Place your system, your anchor system through the hole. Use your Allen head wrench to get it started. These come with blue Loctite already installed, so you don't have to put any more on it. But if these do not have Loctite on it, you want to make sure you have Loctite on these. You need to make sure that this hole is facing downward. And you take and tighten this guy up. Another important part is these red pieces go forward. Those are what you're going to grab to get released. Doing the other side the exact same way. Get your anchor in there, slide it inside your liner, and push it in until you get everything lined up. Just like that. Get your system ready. So that goes on there, this goes through here. Oh, sorry, hit the camera. Why were you there, guys? You're in my way. Damn it, hold the light right. I don't know if anybody has a dad that's ever done that, but. All right, I think this went away just a little bit. We need to, yep, there we go. This one's a little bit more frustrating, but we'll make it work. There we go. Just had to get that lined up a little better. All right, now that your anchors are installed, you can put your liner back on, and then we'll talk about the actual Hans system. All right, now let's talk about the actual Hans device and the reason that we chose Necksgen. Some of the ones out there you actually have to put on before you put on your helmet. For instance, the Simpson Hybrid, it's actually strapped. You're strapped into it, and then you just connect your helmet in the vehicle. Sometimes that becomes a two-person job. We're trying to make this a single-person job. So there's others that you can do this with, but this is the most compact one that we found. It's developed and sold by Necksgen. There's 3 different versions of it. The Rev 1, or the first revision, which is $400. This is the Rev 2, which I believe is $500. And then the next one is Rev 2 Carbon, which is about 1.5 pounds. It's a little bit lighter than this one. And it is $600, I believe. If I'm wrong, prices will be up there. We really like this, and we feel like it's gonna be able to be something we can just put on with it connected to the helmet, so we don't have to do that inside the vehicle. What you need to do with any Hans device that you do buy is you need to adjust it to whatever your neck length is to the helmet. The only way to do that is to put it on. Most of the time you'll have to do this in the vehicle, but I'm just gonna show you outside of the vehicle so you can see. I'm gonna show you the big benefit of, hopefully, this Necksgen system. I haven't done this yet, so I may be wrong, but these get clipped in right here on both sides of the helmet. Kind of like a belt buckle. And if you're in the vehicle and you wanna take the helmet off, you just pull on the release and you turn your head one way or the other. So if you pull on the left hand and turn your head right, and this will pop off and you can come out of it. But the big benefit of this, we believe, and we're about to find out, messy hair don't care, is we should be able to just throw this helmet on with the Necksgen on. It is the truth. So there you go. Hopefully you can still hear me with the mic, because this is where I'm talking about the adjustment. This is gonna be, your seat belts are gonna be over top of this area right here, and it's gonna be tight. And then what this is meant to do is keep your head from hyperextending. And if I go as far as I can go by itself, I still have some slack in this line right here. What I have to do is tighten this up. And the good thing about Necksgen is they make it really easy to adjust that, and I'll show you that. So we're gonna take the Hans Device off by pulling the release on both sides. And then the adjustment for this is right here. And what you do is you take the Allen head that's supplied with the unit, and you loosen this guy up, and you pull the pin out, just like that. And then you see there's adjustments for 2 more going down, and there's actually 1 going up too if you have a really long neck. We're gonna try the first one down on both sides because it has to be even. We're not going to tighten this all the way down. We're just going to get it in there so that we can check to make sure, for one, the pin's all the way through the line, and it is. And then we're going to reconnect it to the helmet. And we're going to throw it back on. And I'm going to simulate holding the seat belts down and see how much slack we have in these lines. And still quite a bit. So we need to go down to that last set. Oh yeah, that's definitely tight this time. So this is exactly where we want it, where the strap gets taut before I can go all the way down. And if you were in the vehicle and you wanted to release, you just turn your head to the opposite side that you're pulling, and you grab this little red thing right here, and it'll come right out. So you get on this side, and then you can take your helmet off with your Hans still on. Again, the reason that we're using this compact version though is so that we can put all this on together. We hope this video has helped somebody that is trying to get a little bit more life out of their older helmet, or just needing to install the Hans Device, or wondering what Hans Device we're going to use. Again, the requirement for this, at least with the NHRA, which we run with divisionally, is we have to have this at 150 miles an hour. So anybody that's running maybe 950 or below probably is going to be knocking on the 150 mile an hour range, and you're going to have a Hans Device this year, 2024. So we recommend the Necksgen. I'm sure there's other brands out there, and this is only biased because this is the only one we have. But we like the system, we like how compact it is and small, and it fits really well. So if you guys are looking for one, check out Necksgen. We appreciate you watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, what kind of Hans are you using? Or if maybe you want to make a comment about how I did this work, feel free to. Eventually we will be upgrading helmets. I'm gonna get one in the next year or two, but it's an expense that I don't need right now because this is still within the rules. And if I wasn't even running 150, then I wouldn't even need the Hans Device to begin with. Chris is actually gonna be running the Hans Device as well, even though he won't be running 150, just safety's sake. And if you think about it, the helmet's pretty heavy. If you make any type of collision, you know, this is gonna be some weight that's unsupported. So anyway, hope you guys liked the video. We'll see you on the next one.